Hello everybody and welcome to another video. We are back again with some more Minecraft. This is part 2 of the military airbase update. I'm only including the one plane that I built in this one because during stream I did actually build 3 planes. We built the SR-71, I think it was. We built a P-51 and a Spitfire. All of them turn out really good in my opinion, so maybe go check out my stream and go see what I did. I think you do actually get a little bit of a tour at the end of this, just to kind of see what I did, but if you want to see how I did it, you can either go check my stream or you can follow the same tutorial as me, and that is the exact same as yesterday, which is obviously MC Military Force. Their tutorials are very easy to follow and I've actually really enjoyed using them, which I don't normally say about tutorials, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna talk throughout a lot of this video because it is 41 minutes long and I don't believe that I have the capacity to be able to speak for that long. Spoiler alert, this is from post-production. This is me after I've done all of the editing and everything. I actually managed to talk for a lot longer than what I thought I was going to. You're probably thinking, aren't you supposed to be a streamer? Aren't you supposed to be streaming for so many hours a day and speaking to everyone? The answer to that is yes, but it is also a lot easier to speak to people when you have people speaking back to you. A lot of the conversations in stream are back and forth, so I can feel the air. Unfortunately, I am currently sat in a room by myself, so conversation is not really going to be there. This isn't a tutorial video, so I'm not going to be telling you how to build it. It's mainly just to show you what I did in stream today. Yeah, there's going to be a couple of random videos in the future of random builds. I'm not going to do every single build that I do because that would just be ridiculous. But yeah, some builds are going to be shown and some builds are only going to be shown in the tours of the world. But if I've used a tutorial for it, then I will let you guys know when I'm speaking about that particular area or whatever. That way I can credit the people that made the tutorial and you guys can go and follow that tutorial if you wish. With all that being said, I am going to just kind of leave the video playing. Yeah, hopefully you guys can follow along with all the things that I've done, and yeah, I may end up cutting bits of it out now, just to make the video a little bit shorter. We are currently sat at 41 minutes, so if the video is shorter than that, you know why. I should probably also mention that this is nowhere near done, and by that I mean the airport. The military base, whatever you want to call it, Paradoxia is going to be a massive world. There is going to be so much going on. This is literally just the start, so don't think that the airport is done. I'm going to be coming back to it and finishing off little bits here and there. I'm going to be doing things over the next couple of days just to kind of teach myself how to do things. We need a control tower, we're going to have oil canister things, we're going to have fire engines and ambulances and all that kind of stuff that makes an airport an airport. Yeah, we're gonna have like little fuel tanks. It's gonna look really packed, but it's gonna look really cool at the same time. I'm trying to not overdo it with the planes, though we are gonna have a lot of hangars, so I'm thinking maybe more planes in hangars than on the runway, which would make perfect sense now that I say it out loud. Whilst I'm building this as well, I think I should probably just run over a couple of ideas that me and my dad have had for this world. So obviously Paradoxia is the name of the world. It's kind of really out of context to anyone that doesn't understand. We were going to call it Gardonia, because we wanted to make it all like garden things and stuff like that, but then we were thinking, let's build castles and rockets and loads of random things that just don't make sense together. and that's why it's called Paradoxia, because it's going to be a paradox, so to speak. It's kind of Doctor Who inspired, I guess, with no Doctor Who. Hold on, let me actually find this and read it out. So the lore behind it is, without the Doctor travelling in the TARDIS, the exterior started to rot, eventually buckling to the larger dimension inside. The explosion tore a hole in the fabric of the space-time continuum. A rift opened above the TARDIS, and the universe fell into chaos as time zones and places in space mixed and life became strange. So that's kind of the inspiration for this world. I am a massive Doctor Who nerd, massive Doctor Who fan. So with no Doctor Who for nearly, well, it's now been cancelled, so yeah, we don't know when we're going to get it. But it has driven me crazy, so I had to sneak it into the lore there. We're going to be building like little TARDISes and kind of just random bits from Doctor Who all around the world. If you watched my video yesterday or the day before, I cannot remember which one it was, but in one of my previous videos I do speak about my tavern, and that is called the Sontar Inn. It's meant to sound like Sontaran, which is an alien from Doctor Who. There's going to be loads of little like things like that in there, and as far as I'm aware, we have loads of ideas so far, and there's going to be loads of places that we could potentially sneak little Easter eggs in, so keep an eye out for that. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll probably understand some of the references. If you're not, then maybe you won't, but I feel like you'll still enjoy this series, because it's not all Doctor Who. Some of the build ideas for the overworld, I'm going to specify where things are going. So like the overworld, the nether, and the end. We don't have many ideas for the end, I'm going to be honest, but I'm going to specify. So for the overworld, we want to build a dwarven mine, and I say the overworld, obviously this is going to be underground, but I mean like the world, the nether, or the end. So when I say overworld, that's what I'm referring to. So we've got a dwarven mine. We're currently working on an airport. We're going to be building a medieval town with like castles, stables, blacksmiths, all of that good stuff. We want to build a mushroom kingdom, and these mushrooms are going to be massive, with bridges going through them and all that kind of stuff. If you think of the Smurfs village, that's kind of the idea, but with more mushrooms and a lot bigger, because we're not 3 apples high. We're also going to be making TARDISes dashed around. If you've watched my previous video, you will notice I have built a glass TARDIS. It looks like it's kind of phasing into reality, so that's the first of many. We're also going to be making mine shafts. Right, it's Minecraft, so mine shafts just makes sense. We're going to try and build Lake Town. It's going to be inspired by The Hobbit, but obviously I don't want to build a scale of Lake Town from The Hobbit, so we're going to build our own Lake Town. It's going to be kind of inspired, but kind of not. We're going to do our own thing. We're also going to be building a lore library so that I can write all that thing about Doctor Who that I mentioned, and any other things that happen in the world, any inside jokes and all of that good stuff. That's all going to be introduced in the lore library. On my father's own world, he has been building canals and aqueducts, so I've asked him if he'll give me a hand doing that in this world, just to cover some land and, you know, just to make it look more lived in, I guess. We're going to be building themed places, so like a Halloween town in Halloween time. We were thinking about doing the town from Nightmare Before Christmas, because me and my dad are both Tim Burton fans, so it just makes sense. Obviously, we're going to be building loads of farms. We're going to be building minecart stations, so they're going to be like train stations, and yeah, we'll have the minecart kind of going between town to town. Some of them might be going around towns and that kind of stuff, but we'll figure all that out once we've started building outwards. I mean, we do have the space to build one going around the town, but I don't really see the point in that because everything's in walking distance. Also, another thing, this is suggested from a YouTube video, and it's giant statues of like animals and mobs, and I feel like that's a really good idea. I feel like putting giant chickens and giant pigs and giant creepers dotted around the map, it kind of just makes the world look a bit cooler. It doesn't necessarily have to have any lore to it. It doesn't necessarily have to have anything attached to it. It can just be a standalone statue in the middle of nowhere, and maybe have like a couple of tents or something around the bottom of it, just to make it look like people have kind of come to stay there or something. I have no idea. But yeah, giant statues is something that someone suggested on YouTube. I cannot remember the name of the content creator, but if I do, then I will let you guys know when I'm building the statues. We want to build a museum as well, so obviously we're going to put like art pictures up, we're going to put like pots and stuff around, potentially build some dinosaur bones and random bits, have like encounters for different types of animal. Obviously the animals are going to end up being alive, but we're just going to have to pretend that they're like, what's the word? We're going to have to pretend that they've passed and that they've been made into a figurine. I can't remember what the word is for that. So I just ran off and asked my fiance, and she told me the word is taxidermy. So we're going to pretend that the animals are taxidermied and in their positions and whatnot. They are going to be alive. They're probably going to be swimming around in encounters or whatever, but we're just going to have to use our imagination, which is something that you have to do on this game anyway, so, you know. One of the other things as well is campsites. We want to build as many random campsites as possible, just dotted around the map. They don't even have to make sense. There could be a tiny little tent on the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to move on from campsites as quickly as possible because I can sit here speaking about ideas for that for hours. So moving on to another suggestion from YouTube is a map room. And to be honest, I've always built a map room, but they've always been kind of small, and you know, with this being a Forever World creative, we have a lot of freedom to do whatever we want to do. So I can just fly over places collecting maps, and we can make the biggest map possible. Obviously it's probably not going to cover the whole of Minecraft because that would be ridiculous, but it will be as big as I can make it. We'll probably start off in Paradoxia and then work our way out making the maps as we go. So eventually we'll probably just have a map room somewhere that starts kind of early on in the whole process and will just eventually be added to and added to. As I mentioned before, me and my dad are kind of big Tim Burton fans, so we're also going to be looking into making a Gothic town. Now I'm thinking we could build like Edward Scissorhands' house and the Addams family's house. We can make it look really kind of creepy, and I kind of like that idea, so we're going to roll with it. We're going to be building a Gothic town somewhere on the map. Another type of town is a steampunk town. That was another suggestion from YouTube, I believe. Yeah, me and Dad, like, I'm not massive on steampunk, but my dad's kind of into that kind of things. He's got a lot of like random skulls with like steampunk like attire, so I'm kind of going to be letting him take the lead on that one, and I'll just kind of follow suit. But yeah, and I should also mention, in every single one of these towns, this is the next point, we're going to have villager trading stalls, so that you can go up to a villager and trade whatever you want. As I mentioned in one of the previous videos, we might turn this into a survival world once we're kind of at a point where everything's done, just so that my dad can experience Minecraft at its best, and then I will let him go through the whole process of survival, or shall I say, I will encourage him to do the entire survival. I can't promise anything though. Along the same kind of lines as villager trading stalls, we're going to have travelling caravans and shops. kind of inspired by the Khajiit in the Elder Scrolls 5. Well, I think they're throughout most games actually, but I've experienced it in Skyrim, so that's where I've got the inspiration from. We're also kind of thinking about building, like, out in the middle of nowhere, just random farms for each item. Not necessarily out in the middle of nowhere, they're all going to be kind of together, but it will be out in the middle of nowhere compared to where we are now. What else have we got on this list? Animal sanctuaries. My dad's built a giant, like, wildlife preservation thing in his world, so we're going to kind of roll from that. He's definitely the inspiration there, because I used to build animal sanctuaries, but they were tiny, like, they looked very, very bad, but my dad's built a massive place. Next on the list we have a giant tree. You know, just a giant tree, just, yeah. We're going to be building it ourselves, so custom build, and I am hoping to make it big enough that we can put houses and maybe like an entire town inside the tree. I think that would be really, really cool, but I'm not going to make any promises because I don't want to make anyone excited and be like, oh my god, they're going to build, and then it never happened. I would rather just say we want to build a giant tree and hope that it actually comes true. We've also then got wizard towers, so I'm going to be building probably the same kind of tower, but just randomly dotted around in different places. Yeah, it's very self-explanatory, so I'm probably not really going to have to explain a lot there. We'll probably have like enchanted tables and a library and whatnot on a very tall tower. That's whatever you're imagining, that's probably exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be building random cranes and construction zones as well, because why not? It makes it look like the world is in progress, and they're never going to be finished. They're always going to stay as construction zones, but it's still that point, you know, it's still the point of making the world look lived in. After construction zones we have garden centers. I'm going to be building a garden center, a very small garden center in Paradoxia. No, sorry, in the town of We'll Figure It Out, which is the town that we're in currently, with the airbase and everything. So I'm going to be building a very small garden centre there. They're probably only going to have a few flowers like dotted around here and there. But we are going to be building a massive garden centre. There's got flowers, trees, everything that you can think of, water features. I'll probably leave that on to my dad, because he does like making a good fountain. Yeah, it's kind of very self-explanatory, but there's a lot of places that we could take it. There's a lot of like routes we could go down. We could have like a food section that's got like fruit and veg and whatnot. Yeah, I don't really think I need to go into that any further. I'm going to be building random dinosaur fossils as well. I love dinosaurs. If you've ever seen one of my streams where I have my camera on, I have dinosaurs behind me. They're hidden behind a bunch of pops, so you may not have seen them properly, but I have dinosaurs everywhere in this room. I absolutely love them. So we're going to be building dinosaur fossils. And also, if you're building fossils, you might as well build some factories, because after all, fossil fuels is what makes them work. So we're going to have some factories just randomly dotted around. I remember when I was in high school, I used to play a very popular game, or unpopular game, depending on who you are, called Fortnite. And I used to land at a place that we nicknamed Salty Factories. Now I am thinking about building them factories somewhere in this world, just because, why not? You know, I no longer play Fortnite. I don't even find it interesting. I played it for like 6 months and then got bored of it. But yeah, Salty Factories may be making an appearance in this game, just because I want to build factories, and they are, I mean, it's very easy to do. Another like must-have in the world of Minecraft is an underground survival base slash bunker. We're going to be making it, even though we're not playing in survival, because obviously, like I said, if we do go to survival, I want my dad to be able to experience it at its best. So we're going to be making everything that we need and then I will let him kind of dabble around and see what he wants to do. What else have we got on here? We've got a bat cave. That's another underground build. These are all for the overworld, by the way. Like, none of these, we haven't even gotten to the nether or the end yet. So yeah, I may end up speaking for the full 40 minutes. Who knows? Obviously, Minecraft has a lot of water. And with that in mind, we are going to be building a great fishing spot. I'm actually going to change this, what it says here. It literally says a great fishing spot. We're going to build the best fishing spot. Okay? There's going to be a waterfall, there's going to be benches, there's going to be barrels, there's going to be grass, there's going to be plenty of fish. That's, you know, the main thing. We're going to build the best fishing spot that your eyes have ever seen. We're also going to try and build a beach with a pier. Now, I don't know if we're going to put rides on it. I don't know if we're going to be able to build arcades and that kind of stuff. But I will give it a go. I don't even care if this pier just ends up being like a bunch of blocks that go out and you just got a little track at the end of it. You know, I want to give it a go just to challenge myself. So I will attempt to make it better than that. But if that's what it ends up being, that's what it ends up being. Next on the list, we have docks with ships. Now, this is going to be a multiple thing, so we're going to have loads of docks like dotted around the world, because obviously there's going to be travel between the towns and stuff. If you can travel by water, then why travel by land? We're also going to be trying to build an older airport, so I kind of wanted to build this military airport that we're working on with all of like the random planes and stuff. But I also want to build an airport that is specifically for like World War II planes, where we've got like Spitfires and Messerschmitts and the Junkers. You know, I really wanted to just build a World War II airport basically, but with different planes on it, not just from one side of the war. Next on the list is, a military base. Well, we seem to be building that already, don't we? This is obviously going to be like the RAF base, because obviously it's planes and helicopters. But when I say military base, we're going to have land, sea and air. So we're going to have a naval ship, we're going to have a military, like a proper army military base with tanks and stuff. And then obviously this one here, we've got all of the planes, we've got all the helicopters. I should probably mention that the naval ship will probably have like planes on it, but you know, it's fine. You'll understand what it is. You'll understand what it is. Now we're going to be moving on from the whole that kind of stuff. So we go straight back into kind of mundane ideas like a snowy village. Very self-explanatory. We're just going to build a village up in the mountain, just to kind of, you know, break things up a little bit, and also just to kind of create a bit of distance, because there are no mountains that are like in our direct vicinity, so we're going to have to travel for that one, which means we're going to have to build a really long track, and I may end up leaving DJ to do that one, because it's not really my thing. I don't really build tracks like that, but my dad's got so many tracks on his world. He's got tracks longer than I have ever built. And he's been playing the game for a lot less time than me. Next on the list, kind of ties in with the snowy village. We want to build an ice castle. Now, I don't know if we're going to build an ice castle and then build the snowy village around it, but that's an idea I've just had, and I think that would actually look really good. It doesn't necessarily have to have anything in the ice castle, it just has to be a castle made out of ice, and then we can have the snowy village kind of set up around it with a bunch of villagers and a bunch of like winter animals. Oh, the more I'm speaking about this, the more I'm liking it. That's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to build a snowy village around an ice castle. Yes. Next on the list, this is also inspired by YouTube. I cannot remember who I was watching. I've watched so many videos recently just looking for inspiration. We're going to be building a hot air balloon. Now, I believe that they built the house from up, and they had a villager in there called Carl. So if you guys actually like have seen this video, then you'll know who it is. Please let me know in the comments down below, because I need to find this guy and I need to give him credit, because there are a fair few of these ideas that have come from his videos. Yeah, or like they're kind of stemmed from his video, like where I've just said about we're going to be building a hot air balloon. Obviously he built the house with the balloons on it from up, so it's not the same, it's nowhere near the same, but it is inspired by his work. And a couple of things in here are as well. I've got a garden centre on the list again. I don't know why I've got that on there twice, but I do. And I've got a library on here again. Oh, the other one was a law library, sorry. We've got a power plant. I believe that the power plant idea came from the same video as the hot air balloon idea. And floating islands, that was just one that I threw in there because I was just like, yo, we need floating islands. I want to build Avatar, you know? I want to build, I can't remember the name of the land, so do forgive me, but I want to build the land from Avatar. Not to scale, not like, I just want to use it as inspiration and do my own thing. We're also going to be looking at art galleries, probably like dot a couple of them around and then put random pictures into it. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. Everyone knows what an art gallery is. It's going to just have loads of pictures up on the walls and you'll be able to walk around, maybe for a fee, who knows. A working racetrack, that's the next one that I've got written. So I know how to pull this off. It includes boats and ice. So I'm going to be trying to build a massive racetrack so that me and my dad can race each other. That's it. And also, if any random, like, if any viewers wanted to join in on that race, you should be more than welcome. I will speak to my dad. I don't really want anyone taking over on the creative process, but if you guys want to join in on the fun side of things, once things have, like, kind of been built up, I'm more than happy to have viewers and just random people just joining in, just to have a bit of fun. We are getting quite close to the 41. We are now 27 minutes into the video. I do apologise. These are kind of ones that we've thrown out, like they're ideas that we want to do, but we don't want to do just now. So these are going to kind of be put off for a while. They are quite big builds. We want to build a prison that's similar to Alcatraz. So we're going to build an island, which obviously is going to take a lot of time. We want to be able to make sure it's out in the middle of the water as well. And we're going to be building a prison, which, like I said, is going to take a fair amount of time. So that one's kind of been put off for now. It might be one of them that I run in the background whilst we're doing some other things. And yeah, we'll just kind of figure it all out. And then we also kind of wanted to make like a... I'm gonna say like a Hollywood, if that makes sense. We want to make like a Hollywood section with all the film studios and all that. I'm gonna be honest, some of these ideas are ridiculous, but we're gonna do them because they are ridiculous. Like this one, for instance. Me and my dad want to build the Teletubby house. Don't ask me why, we just do. Will we put the Teletubbies in there? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'll dye some armor and we'll have some Teletubbies. Maybe I'll build Naughty Nunu the Hoover. Who knows? I can't remember all of the names of the Teletubbies, but I can remember Naughty Nunu. Yeah, it's just one of those ideas that was just kind of a joke idea, and then we thought about it and added other things to it. So, like for instance, we want to build a Hobbit town. Inside a studio, so it looks like they're filming Lord of the Rings. We want to build a gladiator stadium. This is not in the studios. Mr. Blobby house, that's in the studio, and Justin's house, Mr. Tumble, him, yeah, we want to build his house because it's an interesting set. Basically, that's it. I've got a couple of other things that like are coming to mind, but then I haven't spoken to my dad yet, so I'm not going to write them on the list. Where were we? I probably said this. We wanted to build a gladiator stadium. So not Gladiator the film, but we want to build like a coliseum where there's animals in the bottom of it, and you know, there's a stand so that people can come and watch. There's going to be no fighting the animals down there. It's literally just going to be for aesthetic, but it's going to look cool, and that's the main thing. Speaking of stadiums, the World Cup is on at the moment, and we really do not have the time to build it right now. But we will be building a massive football stadium. Me and my dad have very little interest. Well, I have no interest in football whatsoever, apart from the World Cup. My dad watches the odd matches here and there. Mainly just keeps up on the score of certain teams. But yeah, do you know what? We're not really that into football, but it's something that we wanted to give a go. So we may end up making it inaccurate, because I'm going to be honest, I've never actually seen a football stadium from the inside. All I know is that from the outside they look massive. The next idea is for the Nether. We don't have a lot of ideas for the Nether. A lot of it is for the overworld, but that's just because that's been where we've been spending a lot of our time. So when we're moving around and stuff, we're kind of seeing things and going, oh, this would look good here, or oh, this would look good there. We haven't really been to the Nether that much. We do have a portal that goes to it underneath the catacombs. If you haven't seen it, go check out one of my old videos, because I've shown you. But in the Nether, we would like to build a vampiric castle, so Dracula's castle, or something along the lines of that. And also, we'd like to build hell, like the gates to hell, and that kind of stuff, because it's the Nether, there's lava, it just kind of seems to fit the vibe. So yeah, we're going to try and build the gates of hell. That sounds really stupid saying it out loud. Wow, why did I agree to that? Wow. That's it for the Nether. And the end is even worse. Are you ready? This is a Doctor Who reference, because the end looks like the moon. So we're going to build a hospital on there. And we're going to put Jadoon ships on there. If you don't know, then you're not cool enough. But if you do know, then you are cool, and we will be building that hospital. If you don't know, I'm going to very quickly explain it. In the first episode with Martha Jones, the Jadoon steal a hospital and put it on the moon. They are looking for an alien. By the way, the Doctor is an alien. So there's like complications and stuff. But it is a really cool episode. And I think the idea of putting a hospital on the moon, it was such a good idea, that me and my dad just went, do you know what? We have to build a hospital in the end. Obviously, a world would not be complete without the finishing touches. So we're going to be putting a lot of pathways, just random fishing spots. I'm going to be building like just tiny little farms, and we're going to be putting like hay bale carts on them. On my lumber mill, I've already built a cart that has wood going into the back of it, and in the mines, I've already got a cart with like resources. It's got coal, iron, and a single diamond, I do believe. Yeah, we're just going to be building like tiny little bits to break up the greenery. I built like around the lumberjack, I burnt down a load of trees and left it looking like tree stumps. I'm not really going to do a lot with that land. We're probably going to cut down a few of the trees around there, just so that I can build like diggers and heavy machinery. But yeah, apart from that, like, there's not really much else that I've got as an idea. I've actually just had another idea. Because we're going to be building a dwarven mine, it would make sense for us to build an elven forest and kind of be inspired by Lord of the Rings for both of them. Since we're already building a hobbit town and kind of making our own lake town, it would kind of make sense just to Middle Earth this, you know? As I said before, this world is kind of going to be between me and my dad, so it's going to be things that we're both interested in. Both of us like Lord of the Rings. That's like, you know, shock horror. From this point on, I am going to be speaking about the video, because as you can see, the build is complete. that was the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, and as this sign says, it is for display purposes only, so do not attempt to fly this one. Yeah, I ended up building a little gate around it, and as you'll see in a second, I did actually end up putting lights around the plane just to make it stand out a little bit more, and yeah. Eventually, in the latest part of the stream, I did end up building a Spitfire and a P-51. So if you guys would like to go and watch that, I know I've said it before, but go check out my stream. If you guys would like the tutorial, they are on MC Military Forces page. And this is just the finished product of today. This was the very last part of stream. You see that I have done a quick outline of the plane just to make it stand out, and also I feel like it looks more like a display piece now. Before it looked like a plane that had just been parked there, but now it looks like it's got some sort of purpose to be in that exact spot. Maybe one day I'll delete the plane and just leave the outline on the floor, who knows. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. I kind of finished it all off now, and as we can see, I'm just going to go very quickly. You can see the P-51 Mustang on the floor towards my left there. If you join my stream and ask to see it, I will actually be showing it off. I'll be showing off any planes that people come to ask, because I'm quite proud of them, I'm not going to lie. In a minute we are going to actually get a closer view at the Spitfire. I'm not going to show you guys how I built it, but you will get a closer view, and I'm not actually going to show the Mustang too much in this one. So if you do want to go look at that, either go follow the tutorial or come onto my channel and just ask me to show you. This is the Supermarine Spitfire that we're going to have a look at, and if I'm honest, there's probably going to be a bunch of these around the world because Spitfires are my favourite planes. So yeah, they're probably going to be around most like towns, maybe even out in the country, just kind of protecting the lands from the air. I think the design looks really good, and yeah, I really enjoyed building it, so I can't wait to build a million more around the world. And with all of that being said, I'm going to go to bed, and yeah. Keep being awesome, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.